Member for Pomio.
Zero Minister Public Service. Thank you, Mr. Husband Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Hardworking Minister for the Public Service, and if the good Prime Minister can take note, please. Mr. Husband Speaker, I raised during the last Parliament session a debate with regard to the Amendment Public Service Management Act, Section 55 of 2021. This is with regards to the public servants who resigned to contest the 2022 general elections, and the law says that they cannot have a direct entry to public service until after 5 years period. Many of our public servants, especially the experienced ones, are affected. They're still waiting to be re-employed to public service today. Some doctors and some lecturers of universities, institutions, tertiary institutions. The question is, can the minister give an update on this matter? Second point is with regard to an article on the front page of Monday's paper. The NSC decision to move three of our most experienced departmental heads for works, planning, and finance to overseas mission. Mr. Speaker, we know that two of the secretaries are members of the CACC, the Central Agency Coordinating Committee. That's the Secretary for Finance and Planning. At the moment, two other secretaries are on an acting capacity. That's the Secretary for Department of Justice Attorney General, and the Department for the Provincial Affairs after the unfortunate passing of Dr. Gelu this year. This leaves only the Secretary for TPM, who is the substantive holder if this decision is made. The question is, Mr. Speaker, the CACC provides an important role to the government with regard to many matters of our country. The question is, considering the decision and its possible impacts on CACC credibility, can DPM, as the department responsible for managing contracts of departmental heads, advise the government again on this particular decision, if necessary, to revisit that until such a time when the CACC members are fully appointed to their respective positions? Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker.
Honourable Member for Public Service. Minister, sorry.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. The questions are very valid. Number one, in terms of the issue on the public servants going out for election and coming back, the law tests the amendment as it stands that all public servants, whether they are doctors or police personnel or anyone, any public servant that goes out for election will not come back automatically after 5 years. We have not made a repeal or for that matter. So as it is right now, it still stands, because we want to also protect the integrity of the public service. The public service has been totally abused by public servants and also ourselves as politicians. So we need to really put some integrity and discipline into the public service. But that doesn't stop for the case of doctors. I think on our administrative matter, we've discussed that, and I think the Honourable Member for Pomio, who's also a very experienced public servant himself, and former Minister for Public Service, and to understand that we would like to also make sure that we don't contaminate the public service by public servants going out to politics, come back, and keep the committed and loyal public servants still sitting there, and while a departmental head or deputy or whoever goes and comes back and sits there in the office. So that's the issue. For the case of doctors and all that, there's some discussion with Health Minister and the Secretary that there can be a provision to engage them on the consultancy or advisory basis. They can work alongside another PHAs where there is needed, but they will not be coming in automatically as public servants until after 5 years. So that's the first answer to the first question. The second question, in relation to the three current departmental heads that have been appointed to take up overseas missions, the only authority that appoints departmental heads and agency heads is the National Executive Council. No one else makes appointments apart from the NEC. And so the NEC sees fit and right to make changes. Sometimes we question it from the outside, but to start off with, for the benefit of everyone, to even start off with last week Friday, it carried the postgrad, put it on the front page without even the instruments being signed yet in NEC. So how comes it found itself in the paper when confidential NEC matters are still being processed inside? So those are the issues that we would like to also make an appeal to, not appeal, but get a message clear to the media. The only person that is authorized to give out any decisions is the Prime Minister, who is the chairman. No one else. So if you like, at the moment, the affected departmental heads have not been advised yet in the normal process. They have not been formally informed yet, and yet it's found itself in the paper. So we'd like to really, Mr. Assistant Speaker, we must control this kind of important confidential matters to do with personal matters. These personal matters affect lives of human beings. They don't deal with these things. So anyway, to go to the answer, Mr. Assistant Speaker, the decision that has been made by NEC is for the interest of the state. There is a provision in all the agency heads contracts. There is a provision in there that says that in the event there's an interest of the state coming in place, the NEC can make changes either to relocate, redeploy, or even to make changes in the interest of the state. For this case, the NEC feels that it should make some changes, and these senior departmental heads have acquired a length of experience in the public service. And to have them as ambassadors or heads of missions, it also uplifts the profile of the country. So we are also proud that they will bring in a lot of credibility and experience to those heads of missions. These are Brussels, China, and Philippines. These countries are very important for us. So I don't, on the other side of it, Mr. Assistant Speaker, it's also good for them, and also to be able to give way to deputies and those inside the public service to come, because there are 2 or 3 of them have been appointed 2 times. 2 terms now, 2 terms. So sometimes it's good for them to move on, but not to be pushed out. We actually have respect for them, and we want to make sure that they go out and serve the country also in that capacity. But at the same time, to give way for the deputies and those in the public service to go up as well, and to become departmental heads as well. So if you look at all angles, Mr. Assistant Speaker, all this is done for the good of the country. And all of us, anything that we do, Mr. Assistant Speaker, is all because of one thing, and that is because of the interest of the state. Takes precedence of our own personal interest and political interest. So I'd like to say that the NEC has made a decision, and that's the final authority to make appointments. I bring in the submission, and the authorities with the NEC to decide. So that's, I hope that I've answered the questions of the member for Pomio and clear some of the air. But as it is, we stand by the decision that is made, and that's all for the good interest of not just the state as well, but also for the individual departmental heads that have been appointed and redeployed. Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker.